This week, Josh Stein reaches 100 days since being sworn in as North Carolina's governor. He's got a long list, got a lot of stuff on his plate, and so far he's been taking a bit of a different approach to the job than his predecessor. I spoke with WRAL state government reporter Paul Specht about how this has all played out so far. All right, Paul, let's start with what Governor Stein has said his top priority, which is the Hurricane Helene relief and getting things settled out there. It's been a terrible tragedy, 100 people killed, $60 billion in damage. This is an issue that's going to take more than 100 days, but he has been working pretty hard on this topic.
Right. He's made it pretty clear that this is his top priority coming into office, and that's getting relief to Helene victims, not only getting relief to them, but getting it faster. That's one thing that his predecessor, Roy Cooper, was sort of criticized for after Hurricanes Matthew and Florence. There's a group called Encore that critics say was just too slow in getting people back in their houses. So Stein came in, he said he's going to use a different office, he created a new one, and he had a bunch of executive orders that were aimed at speeding up this relief. In the meantime, he's also appointing Republicans to some of the committees that are overseeing a lot of that work.
Let's talk about Roy Cooper. You're always going to get compared to your predecessor, especially in this situation. Some people thought he was going to be a Cooper 2.0, specifically because they took the same path to get to the governor's mansion. It turns out that they're proving to be very different in a lot of ways. Take a look at some of this video here. So this is an interaction between parties. This is Stein after the State of the State address. He's not just shaking hands with Republicans, but he's giving them hugs, right? So we're seeing what seems to be maybe a more friendly relationship between a Democratic governor and the Republicans in power.
Right, and you're right. That did not happen with Cooper's first State of the State address. And you know what? Stein and Cooper came in under different circumstances. Cooper was campaigning on repealing HB 2. That was the bathroom bill that made people go to the bathroom corresponding with their birth gender. It was pretty combative. Some Republicans wanted to keep that in place, whereas Cooper wanted to repeal it. With Stein, he's coming in at a time where everyone agrees hurricane relief is the top priority. And, you know, Republicans have said they're really happy with how Stein has reached across the aisle and to almost every member of the House and the Senate. We actually spoke to Senate Leader Phil Berger the other day, and here's him talking about that.
The governor has been more personally active in reaching out to neighbors, calling members, inviting folks over. It's productive and it's helpful on those things where there's possibility of finding common ground.
And he went on to say that, you know, when they see quotes from each other in the media, now that they have this open line of communication, you know, they can talk about it and make sure things aren't misinterpreted. And so we asked Stein, what has this been like for you? And here's what he said.
I think that there's an opportunity for us to avoid these ideological bills, these social war bills that really just serve to distract us.
We do live in kind of a divisive political time, and I'm wondering how Democrats should feel having a Democrat in the governorship who is so friendly with the Republicans who are in power, and how sometimes those agendas are so different. If
I was a Democrat and I was hearing what Stein said just then, I would think, hey, it's probably good that he's reaching out now. He's sort of laying the groundwork to just give Democrats and Republicans, give them a better shot at being on the same page. So we don't see the types of fights publicly like we did with things like HB 2.
All right. 100 days down. More work to be done.
Hundreds more to go.
Thank you, Paul. And again, that's just a bit of the first 100 days of the governor's term here. We're going to have a much bigger report on how he is working together with Republican legislators. You can find that in the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.